Welcome back to BeautyBuyGen. Right now, we are quickly going to go over the Diddy non-disclosure agreement according to TMZ that Sean Combs allegedly made everyone sign. Pardon me if I make some mistakes. This is very long and I'm not starting over, okay? Help us get to 9K subs. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will get started. All right, so here we go. It says standard Combs NDA. Then it has the name, date, and an email address. And some of the things are redacted because this is probably one that was used in the past. Okay, here we go. I'm going to read it a little slowly so I don't make too many mistakes. All right, here we go. This confidentiality agreement is made and effective as of redacted by and on behalf of redacted you. The term you shall include you, your estate, each corporation, and or other businesses and or other business entities, in which you have an ownership or beneficial interest, and any and all persons and or entities owned and or controlled by you and or such businesses, e.g. affiliates, employees, officers, directors, managers, accountants, and agents, and all of your respective heirs, executors, representatives, administrators, employees, licensees, successors, and assignees, for good and valuable consideration collectively, the receipt and sufficiency of which are hereby acknowledged by you. You hereby irrevocably agree as follows. Number 1, Sean Diddy Combs, aka Puff Daddy, artist, privacy is highly valued and all efforts will be made to maintain confidentiality with respect to all information and other material of any kind, including without maintain confidentiality with respect to all information and other material of any kind, including without limitation the terms, conditions, and existence of this agreement concerning and or related to directly and or indirectly artists and or any person, corporation, and or other entity related to or affiliated and or associated with artists personally and or professionally, including without limitation family members, relatives, and past or present fiancés, husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, and business associates, collectively artist parties, and each and artist party except for information or scrolling one moment. Go all the way to the top. Business associates, collectively artist parties, and each and artist party except for information or material publicly and intentionally disclosed by artists. You hereby irrevocably agree that you shall not at any time use or disclose directly or indirectly to anyone any of the following information, any information acquired by you in any manner and or by any medium or means whatsoever at any time in the past, present, and or future which concerns or in any way relates to artists, any artist parties, and or artists, businesses, activities, entertainment activities, financial affairs, and or personal life, and all such information shall be deemed confidential, private, secret, and sensitive, and kept by you as confidential unless artist otherwise advises you in writing in artist's sole discretion. B, any and all information described in paragraph 1A, including without limitation, pictures, recordings, records, documents, property, merchandise, or other information related to artists and or the personal, professional, and or other activities of artists or any artist party, whether prepared by or on behalf of you or otherwise coming into your possession, is and shall remain artist's sole and exclusive property and shall not be disclosed, removed, sold, disseminated, copied, or otherwise used and or exploited by or on behalf of you without artist's prior written consent, without limiting the foregoing, without artist's prior written consent. Sorry, it took me a while. Which may be withheld for any or no reason. You shall not and shall not authorize any third party to photograph, film, or otherwise record any sound, likeness, and or activities of artists and or any artist parties of any kind or nature, whether personal, professional, or otherwise, including without limitation any appearance, performance, and or rehearsal by artists, and or any other activities during or related to any service or activity performed by artists and or any artist parties. D, without limiting the foregoing, I, you shall not and shall not authorize or facilitate any third party to, without artist's prior written consent, which may be withheld for any or no reason, give any interviews, whether oral or written, write or prepare or assist in the preparation of any books or articles, whether fictional or non-fictional, make any remarks of any kind or create any other materials in any media, including without limitation, confirming and or denying any confidential information related to artists and or any artist parties, to or for use by yourself and or any third party, including without limitation print and or broadcast media, with which interviews, books, articles, remarks, and or materials concern, discuss, or reference artists and or any artist parties in any manner, whatsoever. All information and materials in paragraph 1 alpha through delta, whether or not publicly disclosed by others, the prohibited material you hereby irrevocably grant, convey, transfer, and assign to artists all worldwide right, title, and interest, including all copyrights and any renewal, extension, or similar rights in and to any prohibited, scrolling one moment. It is a lot. Hold on. Hold on, let me make this a little smaller so you guys can see it too. Material, whether or not the same are used and or exploited, and regardless of the medium involved, an artist may register such copyright in his own name or the name of any designee, and without limitation of any other rights or remedies of artists and or any artist parties, artists and or the artist party shall be entitled to recover any and all monies or other benefits whatsoever received by or on behalf of you from any and all sources in connection with any use and or dissemination by or on behalf of you of any confidential information and or prohibited material hereunder, and any such monies or other benefits so received by or on behalf of you shall be held in trust by or on behalf of you for immediate payment to artists and or artist parties. Echo, you shall not and shall not authorize or facilitate any third party to use and or reference artist and or artist party's name or identity, including your relationship with the artist and or any artist party with respect to any transaction, sale of goods or other solicitation, and foxtrot without limiting the foregoing. You shall not at any time defame or disparage artists and or the artist parties and or use, disclose, disseminate, or confirm directly or indirectly to anyone any information or material which may harm, disparage, demean, or reflect negatively or poorly, upon or cause any injury. It just says injury. I added any. Or cause injury to the reputation, character, or career of artists and or any of the artist parties. The foregoing expressly includes without limitation communications appearing on the internet via blogging and or social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Without limiting the foregoing, you shall not, without artist's prior written authorization in artist's sole discretion, alpha, distribute, publish, or permit the distribution or publication of photographs, videotapes, films, audio tapes, or any other recorded sound or image or any other materials of artists and or artist parties, whether or not the same constitutes prohibited material or bravo, copy, excerpt, or otherwise use and or dispose of any artist and or artist parties materials, including any property or materials in your dispose of any artist and or artist parties materials, including any property or materials in your possession or control that belong to artists and or the artist parties, and or if such property does not belong to the artist and or artist parties, which contain prohibited material, to the extent you have not delivered and removed such prohibited material therefrom as required hereunder, including without limitation data, documents, records, smartphones, computers, files, etc., and that upon expiration or termination of the relationship with or in connection with artists or such earlier date as artists may require, you or your legal representative, heirs, successors, or assignees shall promptly deliver possession to artists in good condition any such property of artists and or artist parties and or other records, copies, excerpts, and other aforementioned materials that are in your possession or control. One moment, scrolling. Number 2, you acknowledge that due to the nature of the entertainment industry, any disclosure or dissemination by you or any information or material described in paragraph 1 will deprive artists and or the artist parties of the right to use such information or material. You expressly agree that if you breach or threaten to breach paragraph 1, artists and or the artist parties would suffer immediate irreparable harm and injury which could not be adequately compensated by an award of monetary damage. In addition to all other rights or remedies available to artists and or the artist parties, artists and or the artist parties shall be entitled to injunctive relief and all other remedies provided in such event by law or equity. Such remedies shall include without limitation the right to prevent dissemination of any information or materials described in paragraph 1. You agree to execute any documents and take such other actions as may be reasonably requested by artists and or the artist parties to further evidence or effectuate the rights set forth in this agreement. You hereby appoint artists as your attorney in fact, which appointment is irrevocable and coupled with an interest, with full power of substitution and delegation to execute all such documents which you fail to execute within 5 days after artist and or any artist parties request therefore. Number 3, the term of this agreement and duty to keep all information confidential and not use prohibited material shall commence on the first date above and continue for the life of the artist plus 20 years or 70 years, whichever is longer. Number 4, you warrant and represent that Alpha, you have the full right, power, and authority to enter into this agreement and be bound by the obligations herein. Bravo. Neither the execution, delivery, nor performance of this agreement by you shall conflict with or result in a default or loss of rights under any agreement or understanding to which you or any of your affiliates is a party, or by which you or any of your properties may be bound. Charlie, this agreement constitutes your valid and binding obligation, enforceable in accordance with its terms, and Delta, you have signed this agreement voluntarily without duress, coercion, or undue influence. This agreement shall be deemed to have been entered into the state of New York, and its validity, interpretation, and legal effects shall be governed by the laws of the state of New York, applicable to contracts entered into and performed entirely therein. The New York courts, one moment, scrolling. Only will have jurisdiction over all controversies regarding this agreement and any action or other proceeding which involves such a controversy will be brought solely in the courts located within the state of New York. You hereby consent to the personal jurisdiction of such court and waive any objections based on personal jurisdiction, venue, or forum, convenience? CONVENIENS was the word, guys. This agreement embodies our entire agreement with respect to the subject matter hereof. This agreement shall ensure to the benefit of and be binding upon the parties hereto and their respective heirs, executors, administrators, representative members, owners, shareholders, licensees, designees, successors, and assignees. This agreement may not be transferred or assigned in any manner by you, and any attempted transfer or assignment shall be deemed null and void. Facts photocopied, and scanned signatures of this agreement shall be deemed effective as originals. Number 5, you agree to defend, indemnify, and hold artists and the artist parties and their respective parent subsidiaries, affiliates, licensees, assignees, and their officers, directors, members, managers, agents, subsidiaries. Oh, I said that already. Distributions and employees harmless from and against and all liabilities, damages, judgments, losses, costs, and expenses, including without limitation, reasonable counsel fees of any kind or nature whatsoever, which may be sustained or suffered by or secured against any of them by reason of, based upon, or relating to any breach of any of the provisions, representations, or warranties contained herein, or by virtue for any inaccuracies or in or breach of the representations. Sorry, y'all, this is long. I am so sorry. And warranties made by you hereunder to any third party on behalf of the artist and or artist parties, or any claim, action, or proceeding asserted or instituted relating to or growing out of any such breach. All covenants. Number 6, terms, restrictions, and provisions of this agreement are severable if any such covenant, term, restriction, and or other provision is held by a court or other legal forum of competent jurisdiction, competent judicial authority, to be invalid, void, or unenforceable. Such covenant, term, restrictions, or other provisions shall be amended to the limited extent necessary to be valid and enforceable, and the remainder of this agreement shall remain in full force and effect. The parties acknowledge that any competent judicial authority shall be empowered to modify such invalid, illegal, or unenforceable covenant, term, restriction, and or other provision, if any, in accordance with this paragraph. Number 7, this is an important legal document. You acknowledge that Alpha, you have reviewed this agreement with your legal counsel or knowingly declined the opportunity to do so. Bravo. Your failure to review this agreement with your legal counsel shall not impair the legally binding nature of this agreement. And Charlie, you have fully read and you understand and voluntarily accept all the terms and conditions of this agreement. You certify that you are 18 years of age or older, accepted and agreed, including acknowledgement of receipt of all consideration, strolling. And then it has the person's name, block, address, street address, line 2, city, state, postal code, and date, as well as the signature. Again, I apologize for all of the mistakes I was making, and my teeth are big, so sometimes words are hard for me to say. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great night. And hey, if I didn't really read it well enough, you guys could always go find it and read it yourself, or you could read it here. But other than that, help us get to 9K. Have a great night, and I will see you all next time.